Hello everyone, I am Dr. R. Bharathi, working as Associate Professor of English in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, ANNAMALAI University. In this video lecture, I am going to just speak about letter writing. You all may wonder what is there new to speak about letter writing. When we see about letter writing, what we discuss is it is an important communication tool for the successful career of your professional. And not only that, just imagine a person spending his time and writing a letter and expressing his goodwill to you, and when you receive that letter you will be very excited. So it gives us a pleasure to us, and not only that, we also have to skill ourselves in letter writing, which will be helpful for our career. So in this session, I am going to say about what is letter writing, the components of letter writing, the benefits of letter writing, and how to be successful in writing a letter. Letter writing is an art. So why do we call letter writing is an art? It is a creative process. We create our thoughts, we convey our thoughts to a person by creating something. So it is an art, and it is the earliest form of communication across the world, and it is existing till now. And not only that, it is a necessary skill and it is needed for all individuals. We will start with what is letter writing. So letter writing is exchange of written or printed message. There are two forms of letters. One is personal letter and another one is business letter. So we all know what is a personal letter. This is sent between the family members, friends or relatives. Business letters are exchanged with business or government organizations. What is the importance of letter writing? So today in this digital world, handwritten letters are becoming very less and less common, and it is considered as old fashioned also. So then why do we send a letter instead of just texting the matter within a few seconds and sending it? So everybody have this same thought, but when we are in our profession, we do have to write letters. Okay, so we have to, it is not necessary to put a pen and write in a paper, just we can mail. It is also letter writing. And what are all the benefits of a letter writing? So if you have a hard copy of a letter, you can keep it as a treasure. So you can physically hold it and you will be connected with, and you can keep your memories alive. Okay. So when you receive letter, it is just a handwritten copy and you can just go through it and keep all the memories alive. Okay. And a screen free activity. So we are spending more time in our mobile phones, television and computers. So it gives a negative impact in our health. So to overcome all these difficulties, there will be irritation in our eyes, there will be some concentration difficulties and poor sleep. To overcome all these, we can enjoy a screen free activities like letter writing. And letter writing is also therapeutic because it relieves our anxiety, and we have some time to spend when we are writing a letter. It provides us some clarity and peace. So psychologists always suggest to write letters. If you are having some depression, stress or anything else, they suggest us to write it down. So writing letters is of great mental well-being. And another benefit of letter writing is it keeps the mind sharp. So when we are writing a letter, we are using our brain. It keeps our mind active and it improves our memory, concentration and communication skills. And not only that, it strengthens our relationship also. So, when you sit and write a detailed letter, you can express all your goodwills to your loved ones. And if you have any distancing, social distancing and self isolation, this letter writing will help you to overcome all that. And if during this COVID period, we were unable to visit our family and friends, at that time it is an alternative for a visit. If you are not able to visit a person, just you can sit down and write a letter and send them, and you can make them feel closer than ever. So, these are all the benefits of a letter. Now, we will see about the types of letter. There are two types of letter, one is formal letter and the other one is informal letter. So, formal letters are written for official purposes and informal letters are written to your friends or family. And what are all the qualities of a good letter? So, clearness. First one is the message what you are writing in the letter should be clear to the reader. Next one is correctness. So, always the clearness of your letter depends on its correctness. So, you have to give the correct point of view, and when you are exchanging your ideas, it should be very correct. And completeness. The letter should not abruptly stop. It should have a complete ending. Conciseness. So, it should be short and brief. Attractiveness. So, whenever a person is reading a letter, they should be attracted towards your writing. Coherence. There should be continuousness in your writing. Courtesy. Polite language and the way of the tone you are selecting. And creativeness. So, here you are creating your words, you are creating your thoughts. So, these are all the qualities of a good letter. And what are all the components of a letter? So, first we start a letter with a heading, and date is very important, and recipient's letter, salutation, subject, reference, body of the letter, complimentary clause, signature and enclosures. So, we will discuss one by one the components of a letter. First is the letter heading. So, this is found in the upper left hand corner of the page, and it introduces you to the recipient, the person who is writing the letter to the recipient. Okay. So, here you have to include your name, your address, phone number and email ID. Okay. So, you have to include the information which your audience needs. So, this is the way of writing a letter heading. So, example is given, you can go through the example. Recipient address. So, recipient address is written next to the date, that is the receiver's address. Recipient address is the receiver's address. Okay. So, here also you have to include the name of the person to whom you are sending the letter and the address, email ID, phone number. If needed, you can add everything. So, you have to be very sure in writing the name of the person. It should be spelled correctly and the address should be complete. When you are sending the letter, the address should the address on the envelope should be good. It should be correct. Then only the person can receive the letter. The inside address, it is also the recipient's address. So, it includes the name, address, postal code and job title of the recipient. And date. So, this is very important because all our business letters will be recorded. It will be kept as a document. So, date is necessary, mandatory for writing a letter. So, write the letter. Whenever you write a letter, just mention the date. So, write out the month, date and year. And subject. So, this is optional. When you write business letters, we write this subject. it is indicated as SUB, and after that we put a colon and then the subject line is given. So, when we are writing business letters, we make use of this subject. When we are writing personal letters, this is not needed. So, it is optional. Okay. So, this subject line should be very short and direct, and it should explain what is the purpose of your letter. It should be in a complete sentence. So, it should mention the reason for writing the letter, and it should be clear, eye-catchy, short, simple and easily understandable. Next one is reference line. So, this is also optional. So, while replying to a letter or when you are responding to an advertisement in a newspaper or any journals, we make use of this reference line. Okay. So, usually only formal letters will be including a reference line. So that the receiver can understand what is the purpose of the letter, what is the letter about. Okay. So, after the subject you can insert the reference line. So, it should be abbreviated as REF, and after the subject line we can insert the reference line. Okay. And in the reference line we have to include the date and number of the letter. Next one is salutation. Okay. It is also known as greeting. The salutation is also known as greeting, and it shows the it depends upon the relationship with the recipient. So, when you write business letters, most probably we make use of dear, respected, sir or madam. When we write informal personal letters, we make use of dear, whatever it is. So, it depends on upon the relationship with the recipient. And the important part is the body of the letter. So, this is the main part of the letter. This contains the actual message of the sender, and it should be very clear and simple to understand. This body of the letter is basically divided into three main categories. Opening part, first part is opening part, and here the introduction of the writer is given, and if there is any previous correspondence, it can be mentioned in the opening part. Second one is the main part. So, here the main idea or the reason for writing the letter is given. So, it should be clear, concise, complete, and it should be to the point. And the final part of the body of the letter is concluding part. So, most probably in business letters, conclusion will be given. So, in this part, suggestions or what is the action needed will be given, or else the expectation of the sender will be given. And next one is complimentary close. So, it is the humble way of ending a letter. So, it is written in accordance with the salutation. Most generally we make use of complimentary closes like yours faithfully, yours sincerely, thanks and regards. And the next one is signature and writer's identification. So, without the signature of the writer, a letter will be incomplete. So, it includes the signature of the person, name and designation of the sender. So, other details can contact contact number, address can also be given. Otherwise, if it is not needed, we can just skip it off. So, the signature should be hand written. And next one is enclosures. This is also optional. When you are writing a letter, if you are enclosing some documents to the letter, we make use of this enclosures. If you are not attaching anything to the letter, it is not needed. So, it shows the documents attached to the letter. Okay, it may be a draft, it may be a check, it may be bills, it may be receipts, it may be invoices, or it may be your certificates, whatever it is. So, it should be listed one by one. And if you are sending the letter for circulation, this is needed, otherwise it is not needed. So, this copy circulation is needed when the copies of the letter are sent to other persons and it is denoted as CC, that is copy circulation. And how can you begin the letter? So far we have just gone through what are the components of the letter, and now we are going to discuss how we can write a letter. So how can you begin the letter? Before starting writing a letter, know the format, in which format you are going to write. What is the purpose of the letter, whether it is a business letter or personal letter. So according to that, you decide the format of the letter and then choose the right kind of paper. Nowadays we don't write letters by hands. It is not a manuscript, just we are printing the letters. Okay. So there is no need to choose the right kind of paper, and include the information about the company. If you are writing a letter to the company, clearly state the name and the address of the company and include the date. This is mandatory, you have to write the date and add the recipient's information. So in a business letter, type the name of the person, recipient's name, address and job, and choose a salutation. We can also choose to whom it may concern. If you don't know to whom you are writing, just you can make use of this also. And how can you compose the body of the letter? Strike the right tone. So the tone of the letter must be formal, clear and polite. So don't make use of any fancy language, lengthy and big words, and make use of personal pronouns. So personal pronouns should be used in a business letter. If you are writing a letter on behalf of the organization, we have to make use of we instead of I, and write precisely and clearly. So the content of the letter must be precise, clear, brief and easily understandable, and make use of active voice while writing a letter. Be courteous. Always a letter should be very polite and in a respectable way. So make use of courteous words. And how will you close your letter? Choose your closing. There should be a proper closing in your business letter, and then sign the letter. So always sign the letter in ink. So if you are sending a printed copy, always affix the scanned signature. Okay. And if there is any enclosures, make note of the enclosures. If you are sending copies to persons, make use of copy circulation. And after writing the letter, how can you finalize the letter? Edit and review. So once you have finished the letter, writing the letter, try to look for errors. If there are any errors, check it and proofread it. Then check for spellings, whether all the spellings are correct, punctuations are correct, whether it is having any grammatical errors. So edit and review. And if you are sending the letters, don't staple the letters. And if you are posting the letter, always make use of clear and correct spelling for mentioning the name and address of the recipient. So some useful tips for writing a business letter. So business letters should be to the point, clear and precise. Only simple language should be used, because the main reason for writing a letter is to make the person understand what is your need. So make use of simple language, and abbreviations and short forms of words should be avoided. And when placing orders, the description of the items should be clearly mentioned. And not only that, senders should be informed about the desirable mode of pay, transportation, etc. And the language which you use should be appropriate. So, this is the sample of your letter, you can go through it. And letter writing can be seen as a gift because someone has taken his or her time to write and think and express love. All the best. Thank you.